Hello and good morning. Joe Justice here, coming to you live on December 19th, 2022. We are in the thick of it, everybody. Just a few more days and we will be full blown into Christmas. We are well into the holiday season. I'm sure you have already done tons of traveling around, tons of visiting with family, lots of online shopping, lots of visiting with friends and company picnics and dinners and all the kind of events that we have around this time of year. It is an exciting time. It is a fun time. And it's also a big time for cyber crime. I did not mean for that to rhyme, but, it popped right out of my mouth. So I'm going to go with it. The holiday time is a big time for cyber crime. I like that. That works pretty well. Let's stick with that. All right, everybody, I want to tell you that this time of year is a big time for cybercrime, and I really want you to kind of keep in mind a couple little tips. Some of these are just regular everyday tips. These aren't special. These aren't having anything to do with the holiday season in particular, but it's always good to have some reminders of basic cybersecurity hygiene to keep in mind. So first and foremost, you've got to keep your antiviruses updated. You've got to run the updates on your operating systems. You've got to keep your software up to date. You've got to keep your routers up to date. At least once a month, you need to go through and make sure all of your services are patched, all of your routers, all your firmware is updated and patched. Make sure that you're using reputable IoT devices. A lot of people use very cheap cameras that are produced, and they have lots of security vulnerabilities because their firmware is never updated. Really highly recommend you stay away from those. So that's just kind of common, core, basic things that you need to do every day to make sure that your cybersecurity is in place and in check. In addition to that, there's some things that have to do with online shopping that you want to keep in mind when it comes to the holiday season. First and foremost, you can absolutely trust sites online that take payment processing systems. Amazon, eBay, Etsy, all of those traditional, PayPal, Shopify, all of those traditional sites are very good, very secure, very reliable. If you're using a site that you're not familiar with, a site outside of some of the bigger ones like Amazon and Etsy and all of those, be sure that you're using an address that's HTTPS. If you are connected to a site that's asking for personal information, and I do mean any personal information, even if they're just asking for your name, even if they're just asking for your email address, if that's all they want and they have an HTTP address, do not give them that information. That information is not secure, and that means that anything that you send to them is available for anybody that can snoop around on the internet that has the right tools to be able to capture that information. So forget passwords and forget credit card information. Forget all that stuff. That's like absolutely 100% do not give them that if they don't have an HTTPS address. But I'm telling you, don't give them anything. Don't give them your name. Don't give them a password. Don't give them your first name. Don't give them the nickname. Don't give them the name of your childhood pet. Don't give them any information if they do not have an HTTPS address. It's got to have that little S on the end, and you'll see the little signifier in your URL that'll show the little lock that lets you know that website is secure. So keep that in mind when you're doing lots and lots of online shopping. The other thing that you really want to do when it comes to this online shopping thing is, and I know you're going to fight me over this, and I know that you're going to disagree with me on this, and I know this is really hard for a lot of people, but you have got to use different passwords with different sites. You cannot have Etsy, eBay, Amazon, Facebook, LinkedIn, all of them using the same email address and password, because if one of those sites get compromised and gets hacked, then that means that all of those sites are compromised and you don't know about it. That might be 6 months from now. One of these companies will come out and say, oh, we had a data breach, but 6 months from now is way too late. All of that stuff has been shared. Now, I understand a lot of people have a difficult time. How in the world do I remember passwords from all those different sites? And that's very understandable. We recommend that you use a password manager. There's a bunch of them out there. I don't want to give you any specific recommendations, but look around and use a password manager. Now, one thing that I will give you a little bit of advice on. If it's a free password manager, don't use it. Use something, they're very inexpensive. They're usually just a couple dollars a month. Use something that you pay for, because typically on the internet, if you're not paying for something, then you are the product. So always keep that in mind. You don't know where that data is being stored. Make sure it's a reputable company that's got third-party auditing and all of that kind of stuff. And if they do have all that kind of stuff, that means they're going to have to charge a little bit of money. So keep that in mind. The other thing that you need to remember while you're in the holiday season is plain and simply you're going to be traveling a lot. And there's a couple of areas of your life that are fraught with trouble when you're traveling. It doesn't matter when you're traveling, but this time of year you're traveling a lot. First and foremost, stay away from public Wi-Fi. Take with you a hotspot or something like that. If you've got a laptop, you can use your phone as a hotspot. You can also go to your you can also go to your cellular provider and get a mobile hotspot. Those are very easily available. And that's the kind of thing that you want to use so that you have your own Wi-Fi. You don't want to get on public Wi-Fi because you don't know who else is on that Wi-Fi. And if it's not set up properly, it's not configured properly, it's very possible that not only do you have bad guys on there, but there's all kinds of other guys that are on there snooping around and sniffing around. And even if you think that you're on, let's say for example, you go to a hotel, all someone has to do is be out in the parking lot. And let's say you go to Mac's Hotel. All they have to do is make Mac Hotel 1 the name of their Wi-Fi address. And you think, well, that must be Mac's Hotel. So I'll connect to it. And you have connected to what's called a honey trap. And you're sharing all of your information directly with that hacker that's sitting out there in the parking lot. So stay away from public Wi-Fi while you're traveling. Very important to keep in mind. And when you are traveling, use a VPN. That's a virtual private network. You want to be able to have a VPN that will hide all of your activity to make sure that people, the bad guys out there, are not receiving your information. They are not spying on you. They are not snooping on you. All of that stuff looks like it's tunneled, basically. It's got a layer of encryption so that they cannot read your data unless they're at the other end, which is the sites that you're connecting to. So use a VPN. And again, let me caution you with the VPN stuff. There's tons and tons and tons of free VPNs out there. If you are not paying for it, you are the product. That means that they're gathering that data from you for some reason. Who knows what it is? They might be doing it for advertising purposes. They might be a foreign state trying to spy on American citizens. Who knows? You'll never know. So the best thing to do is pay a little bit of money for a VPN, and there's lots of them that we recommend. And you can also configure your own. Of course, we do that kind of stuff all the time. VPNs are not a new technology. They've been around for decades. So either pay a little bit every month to do it, or hire somebody like Advantage Technology to set it up for you so that you can use a VPN from your local office. Last and most important, really, in a lot of ways, really highly recommend that you do not share your travel information on social media until you return home. I know that's hard for people because you like to share that you're going to a Christmas party. You like to share that you're at your Aunt Ruth's house or you're at your grandma's house. But all you're doing when you share that information is letting criminals know that there's nobody home. All they have to do is take a look at social media in a certain geographical area, and they have lots of ways to figure that kind of stuff out. And they say, oh, look, this guy right here is visiting Meemaw's house. Well, Meemaw lives out of state, so we know that he's not home. And it doesn't matter what kind of an alarms you have. It doesn't matter if you've got a timer on your lights coming on at night or whatever. They know that you're not home. They know that you're not going to come and stop them when the alarm goes off. They know that they're going to have a window of opportunity because you shared that you're miles and miles away on your social media. Again, I understand. You want to share it. You want to let everybody know, hey, I'm having fun with my family. This is the kind of stuff that I'm doing. But just hold off. Wait till you get home, and then you can say, this is what I did over the weekend. These are the people that I visited. And keep an eye on your phone, too, for when other people around you tag you and say, you'll get an alert. You'll get alerts from Facebook and the other social media platforms that says you've been tagged. Remove those tags if you're not at home, because people are spying on you. Absolutely. Yeah, and you don't know when, you don't know where, but you want to make sure that your current physical location is not available to the public. So wait till you get home and share with everybody else. Speaking of sharing, if you found this helpful, please do share, follow, subscribe, and let everybody know about these and other tips brought to you by Advantage Technology. I hope that you have a wonderful day, a wonderful holiday season. I will see you all again tomorrow.